Go ahead and subscribe, please. In 2014, in the United Kingdom, a story unfolded that would shake a family, expose the failings of the justice system, and spark national debate about parental responsibility and public safety. At the center of this tragic tale was Sarah Sands, a 32-year-old single mother, raising 5 children on her own. In mid-2014, Sarah moved with her family to a council house in Silvertown, East London, hoping for a fresh start. She dreamed of stability and a safe environment for her children, unaware that her life was about to be forever changed by events she could never have anticipated. Sarah relied primarily on the state and her mother for support, as her children's fathers were largely absent from their lives. Her daily routine revolved around her children, particularly her 3 youngest sons, Bradley, Alfie, and Ree. Bradley, the eldest at 12, was responsible, outgoing, and protective of his younger twin brothers. Alfie and Ree, both 11, shared an inseparable bond and loved playing outdoors, especially football, and spending time with friends. Despite limited resources, Sarah worked tirelessly to provide a stable home, cook meals, walk them to school, and shield them from life's hardships. Neighbors described her as warm, friendly, and always willing to help anyone in need, frequently checking on elderly residents in the neighborhood. Initially, the Silvertown estate seemed like a promising new beginning. It was a typical working-class neighborhood, with rows of flats overlooking a playground and a primary school. Sarah and her boys quickly settled in and began forming connections with neighbors. One neighbor in particular, Michael Plested, a 77-year-old retiree who lived alone in the same block, soon became a familiar presence. Known for his grandfatherly demeanor and part-time work at the local corner shop, Michael earned the trust of residents, including Sarah. She befriended him, often visiting for tea, friendly conversation, and occasionally bringing home-cooked meals. Her children even called him Uncle Mac. No one suspected that beneath this seemingly benign exterior lay a long history of horrific crimes. Michael's past included 24 prior convictions dating back to 1970, including multiple offenses of indecent assault against minors. He had previously gone by the name Robin Malt, but had legally changed it to Michael, exploiting loopholes in the system to move undetected into new communities. In the autumn of 2014, Michael offered Bradley a small weekend job at the corner shop. Initially, it seemed like a positive opportunity for a responsible young boy eager to earn some pocket money. Bradley sometimes brought Alfie and Ree to help as well. But soon Bradley refused to continue working and became unusually withdrawn. The twins began avoiding Michael's flat entirely. Sarah, overwhelmed by the responsibilities of daily life, did not initially suspect the unthinkable. Tragically, in late October, the full extent of Michael's abuse was revealed. The twins confided in their mother that Michael had assaulted them, and Bradley, already visibly distressed, broke down and admitted that he too had been abused. Sarah's immediate reaction was devastation, guilt, and overwhelming despair. She later reflected, "There are no words to describe how it eats you up from the inside. It's horrendous, the guilt, the pain, the sheer shame. It's my job to protect them. I should have known. It eats me alive." Sarah immediately contacted the police. Officers arrested Michael on charges related to sexual assault. During the trial preparation, it was revealed that Michael had a long and disturbing criminal history, yet the court initially allowed him bail, citing his advanced age, health concerns, and community ties. He was ordered not to have contact with anyone under 18, but he was allowed to return home to the same estate where his victims lived. The family, expecting relief and protection from the justice system, instead found themselves living in constant fear. Bradley later described seeing Michael's flat directly across the street from their own, amplifying his terror. To protect her family, Sarah moved her sons to her mother's cramped flat, losing privacy and stability overnight. The emotional strain was immense. On November 28, 2014, while at her mother's flat, Sarah, emotionally overwhelmed, decided she had to confront Michael herself. Armed with a 12-inch kitchen knife, she went to his flat, demanding a confession. According to her testimony, when Michael denied the allegations and mocked her children, she lost control and stabbed him multiple times. Michael died at the scene. Sarah then voluntarily surrendered to the police, covered in his blood, and confessed. At trial, the court heard detailed testimony about the events leading up to and during the stabbing. Sarah explained that her intent was to secure a confession to spare her children the trauma of testifying, not to kill. The jury ultimately found her guilty of manslaughter, acknowledging that the killing resulted from a sudden loss of control due to emotional provocation. She was initially sentenced to 3 years and 6 months, later increased to 7 years and 6 months upon appeal, considering premeditation and failure to seek medical help. Sarah served approximately 4 years in prison, during which she focused on maintaining contact with her children, who were by then teenagers. After her release, she reunited with them, and the family worked to rebuild their lives. The case sparked public debate on justice, morality, and the responsibility of the state in protecting children. Her sons publicly expressed gratitude for her actions, emphasizing that their mother's intervention prevented further harm. In the years following, Sarah campaigned for legal reforms to prevent offenders from changing their identities to escape detection. Supported by members of Parliament, she pushed for measures to ensure that convicted abusers cannot conceal their past, highlighting systemic gaps that allowed predators like Michael to continue offending undetected. The story of Sarah Sands remains a tragic and complex example of a family failed by the system. It underscores the vulnerabilities of children, the burden placed on parents in desperate circumstances, and the difficult moral questions surrounding justice, revenge, and protection. What began as a mother's hope for a better life turned into a harrowing battle to safeguard her children, demonstrating both the resilience of family bonds and the devastating consequences when systems meant to protect fail.